Welcome back to Dagryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave, and today we're going to review all my diesel engines. We might as well start here. This is my Baltimore and Ohio 400 Bud RDC1. This one is special because this was actually purchased by my grandfather for my uncle. And it's just really cool to have something that my grandfather purchased. I feel like any self-respecting post-war Lionel collector has to have an engine like this. You have to have a Santa Fe F3. This one is the dummy unit that goes with my 2343. This one's a 2353. It's obviously in need of some work. I started a video series on these quite a long time ago, and they're not really progressing. The powered unit is in on the workbench in pieces. Every little piece inside of it is rusted, so it's something that I fiddle with when I have patience. I do have a Santa Fe that works though. This is the 2243. It's the one with the single motor. But even so, with one motor and magnet traction, this thing pulls pretty well. This is the engine that got me kind of fired up and back into Ogauge. Once I saw this, it just kind of relit the fire. While we're on the subject of the F3s, I have this set of the New York Central F3s. I think these are the 2354s. I can't quite read the number board at the moment. These also were in pretty crummy condition when I got them, and I got them working pretty well. I learned a few things about the motor and the gears and the trucks on this one. And being from the Northeast, I prefer these New York Centrals over the Santa Fe, but I like having the Santa Fe too, so. Well, partially because it's next in the drawer here, I'm going to go with something a little more modern, for me anyway, and that would be this Alco FA2 by Weaver. And I'm pretty impressed with how it runs. It's definitely bigger than the traditional size Lionel Alcos. On the subject of Alcos, this is not Lionel, but this is a K-line set of Erie Alco FA2s. A neat thing about the K-line units is that that's the first Ogauge engine I ever purchased. At the time I was modeling an N-scale, due mostly to space requirements, but I saw these at the store and I had to have them. I think it was like 90 bucks maybe. So them being the first Ogauge engines I actually ever purchased, I'm kind of glad I still have them. But I like these a little bit more. The Lionel 2032s, I actually have 3 of them. These 2 are powered, and if you've seen some of my previous videos, you might recall that they've been the subject of a few of them. You can see the wires sticking out the back here. It's because they're both motored, and I have them set so that I can run them separately or off the one E unit in this unit. And it's pretty cool to run these 2 together. They are a monster when they pull. They can pull quite a lot. I would love to find a B unit to paint to match these 2. That would be pretty sick. This Maroon Top Lackawanna 2321. I picked this up as part of a set somewhat recently, and it is in need of some serious help. You might be able to see the paint is all messed up on the top, so even though it's a maroon top, the shell's not in the best condition, and it's a little melted here. I will take it apart and do a complete redo on it at some point, probably during the winter, because it is getting cold out here in the garage. Kind of freezing right now. But then I also have the Gray Top 2321, and that is one that has also been the subject of a few videos, and I completely went through that and worked on the frame because it had battery damage. I've run both of these together a couple times, and there's really no point because one of them will more than max out the length of track on my layout. But they are really amazing engines. Dual motor. If you have the ability to get one, get one. You won't be disappointed. Here's a classic. The NW2 Switcher 623 for Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe. This was always, in my mind, the classic switcher, and I had to have one. Like everything else in my collection, it's got its ups and downs. I think there's a little warpage in an axle or wheels off. I don't know, but it runs well, it pulls well, it just kind of has a little hop from time to time. Similar to that one, this is actually an MPC era, the 8770 electromotive division demonstrator model. This one's special because this belonged to my uncle Frank, who had the layout in the basement that I spent many hours of my childhood staring at and drooling over. So I can actually see this one in my mind. I can see it on his layout, and it's cool to have it. And it runs pretty well. This is one of the ones that got me starting to consider buying engines that were from the MPC era. At some point, I want to take it all apart and clean and paint the frame, do the lights, fix the horn and all that. So that will be a project for someday, eventually. Well, this isn't diesel, but I don't have a lot of electrics. So here we have the Lionel rapid transit trolley, and it's pretty neat. Again, not perfect. I think I'm missing a ball bearing for the armature, so it tends to lock up, but I will repair that at some point. Here's this 600. It's had its issues. I got this one pretty cheap. It didn't run very well. I've had to shim out the sides of the motor truck because everything's a little loose, and that allows this bottom plastic to move, and that's what keeps the armature in place. So when that moves, the armature moves, and then it gets jammed up. So it's been shimmed out, and it's running pretty well at the moment. But I don't feel like that's a real fix. It's more of a band-aid. So I don't know if I'll take that truck apart at some point. But this has been the test bed for a few projects. I think that's the first engine I did the directional lighting in. So that was fun. It's nice to have items that you can mess with and not feel bad about. The 628 Northern Pacific GE 44-ton switcher, which is obviously way out of scale and too long, but it's also kind of a neat engine. I did the directional lighting on this one too. I think this might be last. It's funny, going through the steam engines, I didn't think I had so much. Going through the diesel engines, I thought I had more. So it's possible I'm missing something. As I was pulling some of these diesel engines out, I found more steam engines that I didn't realize I had, so maybe I'll have to do a steam part 2. They're all in pieces and need repair, but there's more than I thought. It's possible there's 1 or 2 hiding somewhere, but I don't think there are. So let's wrap this up. So the final diesels for this video are these 2 Long Island units. They came with the Greenport Scoot set that K-Line released. And these are special to me because I remember seeing these run out at the end of Long Island as they came into the Montauk station. So that's it for my diesel engines. I definitely need to add some electrics like the GG1. That would be a cool addition. I know it's not diesel, but that'd be neat to have. In my mind, engines are really broken out into steam and non-steam. So pretty happy with this selection of engines. There's some really good engines in here. The Weaver FA2 is one that will just run so nice and smooth and slow, and I always find that to be amazing when you're talking about conventional control. But all these are fun in their own right. So this is it, and what do you say we run a couple and enjoy some trains running? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the Griffin Hobby.